Hello everybody, Rackender here, back with another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys. Today we are doing a new deck list, and we're going to be showcasing a new deck on this channel. Now that I've kind of hit Masters, I don't need to focus super hard on like grinding out the single deck, and I can experiment with some new stuff. And holy crap, has that been much more fun for me lately. I'm so much more enjoying the game. English is pretty... That's not good English. I've been enjoying the game so much more ever since I've hit Masters and been able to experiment and play around with different decks. So in the last video, you probably saw that we have a Katarina Shiraza deck that was a lot of fun. Today, I wanted to try KALISTA. KALISTA is a champion that always intrigued me, but never really hit that sweet spot that made it enjoyable to play. But finally, after a recent buff in one of the latest patches, which was I think about a week ago at this point, so it's not super recent, but recent enough to be relevant, KALISTA got changed. So let's go ahead and jump in here. We have KALISTA as a 3 mana 4/3, which is a decent stat line, not the greatest, but not the worst either, with Fearsome, so she can't get chump blocked by any of the 2 health units, so pretty nice. In order to kill her, you have to commit, so you have to commit something that does 3 damage, get excited, Black Spear, you know, these are pretty hefty resources. So she's she's resilient and able to kind of stay on board, and that's you know what you want her to do, because her level up condition's a little tricky to resolve. Basically, she levels up when you've seen 3 allies die. And that is a pretty... There used to be 4 allies, and that was incredibly difficult, but with the 3 ally condition, it's a lot easier to kind of make happen. And we're running a ton of synergy in order to make that more efficient. We do have Haunted Relic. This summons 3 1/1 ephemeral tokens. Ephemeral means they will die when they strike or die at the end of the round, which immediately levels up KALISTA. So this is really good synergy here. We're not running 3 copies though, because without KALISTA it doesn't really serve much purpose. It can kind of level up Thresh as well, which we are running 3 copies of alongside of KALISTA, but aside from that, it doesn't serve any purpose besides the level up. And then we are also running a Cursed Keeper Ravenous Butcher package. Cursed Keeper is a really fantastic card for this type of deck. Really wants to die, so you know, that helps whenever you're playing alongside of KALISTA. And then Ravenous Butcher requires that you kill something to summon. We're running 2 of this instead of 3 because it's a dead card if you don't have it combining with any kind of the other support. You don't want this in your hand with a KALISTA Thresh on board, right? Because you pretty much can't play it, and that doesn't feel too great. And we are playing 2 copies of Warden's Prey. I'm not playing anything. I took this build from the internets, because as I was thinking about this, the good old Mega Mogwai decided to just perfect the KALISTA deck almost. I went onto his website, he did a video on it, but I also want to do a video on it because I love this deck, and I had a lot of fun playing it and recording some gameplay for you guys, so... The deck's just fucking amazing. Like, honestly, he's kind of a genius when it comes to deck building and finding just perfect ratios for some of these lower tier decks. Most of the decks that he builds, if you're familiar with the creator, are considered tier 3. They're not, you know, the top end of competitive play. And it's a thing that he likes to do with card games, is experiment. I'm in that same category, but I'm not quite there yet when it comes to the ability to kind of craft a deck that's as, you know, well-rounded and capable of competing. So what I do normally is I take the deck and then I tweak it a little bit depending on how I feel the matchups are playing out and the ratios are going, and the ratios are feeling. But for this build, I really didn't feel like it needed any changes, because he really put in the work when it came to theory crafting this and experimenting with this to make it a perfect, well-rounded build. So we are going to be combining Kalista with Shadow Isles to take advantage of some of the ephemeral stuff that we'll be doing. We have two copies of Deathmark and 3 copies of Darkwater Scourge. Kalista with Darkwater Scourge is just one of the nuttiest combos you can ever really think of. Darkwater Scourge is a 3-mana 5/5. Because we're playing it with Kalista, we actually don't need the Deathmark combo. Deathmark is a nice 2-of to kind of deal with certain threats, and it does pair well with Darkwater Scourge, as many of you might have seen or heard of whenever the old Spooky Karma deck was running around, when they played this kind of Deathmark Darkwater Scourge package instead of some of the Spider Swarm stuff to stall out games. It's a really good combo, and it gives you a 3-mana 5/5 with lifesteal on round 6 if you pass round 1 and 2, which is really threatening and very, very devastating to pretty much any aggro deck. Like, we didn't really lose to too many aggro decks on the ladder. Most of our losses were from elusives, and we actually lost to a Yasuo deck. I do think Yasuo has a pretty decent matchup against this one. We have plenty of tools to deal with them, but there is some aspects of the Yasuo deck that makes it a little rough sometimes. Elusives have been, if you're playing against Kinko elusives, that can be a bit tough to deal with. We are running 1 copy of the box, so I'd recommend if your opponent is going for like a huge push with a bunch of summons with elusives or whatever, this is probably a card to keep on hand, especially if they're playing Kinko elusives. You can play this on turn 4 when they play their Kinko units that summons all the stuff. What's it called? Wayfinder. When they play this card, you can actually play the box. It'll kill everything that this card summons, as well as the Wayfinder itself. So that's a pretty good deal, I would say. And then we also have Shadow Assassin as well. She's elusive and draws us cards, so helps us out a little bit with that matchup. But it is pretty tough, especially the Kinko version. The standalone version, we actually do fairly well against. We are playing 2 Will of Ionia and 1 copy of Vengeance. Not to mention, the Death Marks can prove to be just incredibly devastating to those builds that only rely on a single unit. Which is really crazy. We can get that with Darkwater Scourge, but Kalista's level up, which is what we're going to be using or kind of focusing on the most, is every time she attacks, she will revive the strongest dead follower and give it ephemeral and attack with her. They become bonded, so whatever the follower that gets summoned, or the follower that gets summoned will bond with Kalista, and then it will take all the damage for Kalista during that combat phase, which is a really good effect. And that's one of the reasons we like to pair it up with Darkwater Scourge, because it's a 5/5. So even it takes a lot harder. It makes it a lot harder for them to deal with. There was one play my opponent had. I leveled up Kalista a little early, and I didn't have any big units on board, and I only had a Butcher. This was the strongest unit at the time, so it revived a Ravenous Butcher. They played the box, and that killed the Butcher, which made Kalista die to the person blocking Kalista. So it could be, just keep that in mind whenever you're playing this. You want to make sure that you have something pretty big that Kalista can bond to, so your opponent can't just like Mystic Shot it or get excited use Get Excited on it in order to deal with Kalista. That's something. The Cursed Keeper Escaped Abomination can be pretty decent. It's a 4/4, and that makes it a little bit better than some of the earlier stuff. And if you're kind of in a pinch, you can even use it on the Shadow Assassin. If you somehow have killed your Shadow Assassin, Kalista will revive the Shadow Assassin with her leveled up condition effect, and you will get the draw, because this is a win summon effect, so you do get the draw off of this. And if for some reason you manage to do it on the Rekindler, the win summon effect, of course, will give you another Rekindler to revive another Kalista. So you can do some pretty crazy combos with this. Chronicler of Ruin is pretty nice. Kill an ally and revive it. This pairs really well with the Rekindler to summon multiple Kalistas, or to just resummon it if they've dealt with it. It also pairs well with the Cursed Keeper package to give yourself a lot of 4/4s on the field. And just a really well-rounded deck. One of the greatest aspects that this deck has to offer is its versatility. None of the matchups that I really faced felt unwinnable. They always had this... Obviously, it's a card game. There's some variance involved in how, you know, your opening hand affects the, you know, the outcome. But for the most part, if you play the matchups really well and patiently, you can outplay your opponent in many ways and be able to take the win with this deck. It doesn't feel bad at all. It doesn't really feel like it has a bad matchup. So this is a pretty nice, well-rounded deck. Huge shoutouts to Mogwai for crafting such a just perfect list for Kalista. There's a couple of other ways to play Kalista that I'm gonna probably try to man, just contradicting myself right in that same sentence. I'm gonna definitely experiment with a couple of other builds. I do want to experiment with the Lucian one. I don't actually have Lucian, so that was one of the issues that I ran into. Probably gonna have to craft some of him, depending on how the rewards go. So I am a little I do want to kind of experiment with some of the Lucian stuff that Kalista can mess with as well. I don't know. They might be a little bit too different to run. You might want to focus a bit more on the Lucian, but there's a couple of other options that I'm a little bit interested in to see if, you know, maybe we can get them to work out. So, but for now, this is what I have. I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay. I'll leave the deck list in the description below for you guys to check out as well. If you can just go check Mogwai's Mobalytics page. I pretty much copied the deck card for card, and I played it in Masters. Managed to get to 1800. We climbed up a few ranks. It just performed incredibly well, and I never really felt like the list needed changed as I was playing it, so I didn't. So yeah, be sure to subscribe below for more Runeterra content in the future. The new expansion's coming out soon. I'm really excited for that, so I hope you guys are excited for that as much as I am. They just revealed Lee Sin, and holy crap, is there a lot of neat things that I'm really eager to experiment with and mess around with. And of course copy, because Mogwai is of course gonna make some insane lists himself. So yeah, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification icon. I'm going to be putting up a lot more Runeterra content on this channel, so that'll let you know when those videos go live. And of course leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and it helps out the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoy the gameplay. Later. He's playing... I think we'll keep this guy, actually. I think we'll keep this hand. We could drop the will. Taking a quick look at some of the tier list here. I think this is going to be a typical Lux deck. Alright, so... I don't really need Mark. I want to see if I can draw into Kalista stuff. There's a Butcher.
The chains, they never stop.
I could have played the Butcher to go for a lot of damage here. We'll see what he does. He's probably going to Remembrance next turn. Nothing we can do about it. Oh, he's gonna
Get out of here.
pass? Question mark? What kind of hand is that? Oh, nice. mean, I don't have a reason not to develop here, I don't think.
We weren't expecting callers. What does he want from me?
Deathmark. Neat. He doesn't have Ruination. 8 mana. We're just gonna develop here. Most of his counters would probably be slow speed. If we have to.
No place for the kind.
There we go. This is gonna threaten a huge chunk of damage.
We'll bring
Yeah.
peace to Ionia, whatever the cost.
Shoot me right out.
By force of will,
Got the standalone. Unfortunately, we can't Deathmark this turn. Maybe we should have prepared for that. I'm just gonna pass. Keep the mana. I like that deny. So we can play the Scourge into Deathmark.
do not question our resolve.
I mean, this makes me not able to play Scourge. If I do it like this. I think I'm gonna force. I don't see a reason not to. Okay, he's gonna burn the will. Now we go in.
Act with conviction. Peace has its cost. By force of will,
Yeah, Spirit Refuge to lifesteal. Seems like the only real out. Oh. Guess that's an out, but I guess that's an out. That was such a weird like sequence of plays. He just kind of did nothing for so long. I guess he was main decking Judgments, and so he probably, I wonder if he played more than one and drew into them, and that's why it was just an awkward state, like hand state. Either way, even if that went through, That's pretty devastating judgment right there, but luckily we had deny. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna keep the Curse Keeper Glimpse. And drop the Mark. I could greed for Darkwater stuff. Who are we playing? Zed? Oh no. We have to go. We have to go deep. This is the stupid. This is that stupid elusive deck. He's gonna pass the first 2 turns and stand alone a bunch of stuff. Oh, I like you.
The Yordle here's with me.
Or he's just gonna play that. It's kind of not a fantastic summon. You're supposed to... I mean, I guess just, that could be an indication that he doesn't actually have the standalone combo. We don't have enough mana for Deathmark here with any of our stuff, so I think we'll go for an open attack. There's a good chance he'll just have more elusives, so this 1 damage is pretty neat. I need mana? So next turn, if I summon the assassin.
Hang on, Buzzball.
Hey,
Yeah, there's another one. So if I summon the assassin, we'll have 5 mana, which is enough for the Deathmark combo with our Haunted Relics.
Silent as death.
Oh. Grabbing more of our Shadow Assassins. This is not an ideal, like, situation with that. Oh! Standalone. Okay.
Let's move. You cannot escape.
I mean, I still just block, right? Like, there's no reason to take 5 damage here.
Master.
I think we'll do this again.
Dark beckons.
Oh, I forgot I ran the box in this. This would actually be really helpful for his 1 mana drop. Okay. Kalista. Alright, the question is, do I develop for Kalista here? I feel like I could. So how much mana we have? We have 7 mana, 3, 5. Man, we're 1 short of death marking still. Wow, this is such a tough... I think we want to keep... We'll summon Kalista. And we'll keep box mana open, actually. It does 3 to each enemy. Alright. I'll take the pass. We can slow play this.
Never see us coming.
Our end game's better. Our end game is better. I think he wants to play the monk, so I'm actually not going to block this yet. He's got a lot of Relentless Pursuit, so I think we'll start with this, and this leaves us enough for Deathmark and the box. He's gonna deny that? Do I think I'll deny. Just deny. If you got another deny, go for it. I got Vengeance. Like, him throwing deny on my Vengeance? I probably wouldn't have been too upset. He's gonna fucking deny everything? No way! That's wild. That's actually wild. Okay. I'm going to draw 2 then. Like, would you not just save the deny for the... There's a Will of Ionia? Oh, we got this. This is free. This is free. Use both of his denies. So we have 8 mana here. Oh, lol. I think we'll go ahead and play it. And this will keep us pretty diverse in terms of our answers. I'm just gonna always keep these open for mana. Like, there's really no reason to not.
The order rewards its faithful.
Okay. Kind of curious if he's actually going to summon more. Oh, yes.
I walk your path alone.
Yes. 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 Chain Vest. That doesn't save him, dude. Unless you got more health. Radiant Strike. Okay. We'll summon this guy for a chump blocker.
Punish restraint.
So we don't really have to commit to a super huge game plan here.
Let's move. Everything's better with company.
Okay. I think we'll go for a Death Mark. I think the Death Mark battle plan's the correct way to go.
Full speed ahead. It's too late for you.
No. Get out of here. No. Oh, I love this deck. This deck is so good. This deck is so nice. Yeah, the standalone cheese, man. Just hard mulligan for it. Will of Ionia counters it if you're playing an Ionia deck. It's a really strong combo, but we had pretty good tools with that game. This deck's really versatile. I love this deck. This is something I was thinking about when I was watching the Mogwai video in particular, when he created this deck, is that this feels like a really versatile list that can kind of deal with anything. And the reason that we're going to let the Darkwater Scourge kind of die there, even though we have Deathmark, is we can just bring it back over and over with KALISTA, which would, of course, be really solid. So we were just going to let it die so that we can just keep reviving it and lifestealing with KALISTA. And then we were going to... if we wanted to use Deathmark, we could have used it when KALISTA revives it, so that would have been not a terrible option. And we could have used it in response to something else. If he didn't have the Will of Ionia that we could just straight up deny, we could have Deathmarked whatever he wanted to do. Maybe he wanted to buff up one of his green glades again to make it really, really powerful. We could have just death marked it. So that's kind of what our game plan was there. It feels so nice to be able to put masters in my title. That's so pog. Katarina, ooh, this is a neat combination. Katarina Jinx. I'll probably mulligan for early stuff, which this is not. This is not. Mulliganing Shadow Assassin feels pretty awful sometimes, but I think we need. I think we'll keep one of the butchers and we'll just full mulligan for other cards. Maybe greedy.
Where's my axe?
Maybe really greedy.
I'll do better this time.
Probably should have kept. Oh. Ouch. We're getting completely boned here. See if he takes the pass. That'd be rude. I mean, there's no reason for him in this. Yeah, that's a good one. By the Bone Crew. We trade this if he open attack, or if he goes in. Man, I need to draw. This will give us one card.
Fuse is lit.
The dark beckons.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Nice. Alright, so 9 damage, 8 damage.
Cannot escape.
This.
Time to go.
Alright. Sweet. So we got the Scourge combo. I'm not sure which. I think we. I mean, what does he have that can threaten this even with these two combinations? Like, he can't really do anything. These two regions have
Let's take this puppy for a spin.
have pretty limited interaction with this. We can Vile Feast. What's more threatening? I mean, we don't have Vile Feast, obviously. Dun. I don't know which one this would. Because we can just block the Boom Crew. Honestly, I think just getting rid of this guy might be the play.
I'll try anyone.
Oh. If I go in for the attack, then he just blocks with this guy. Do I need the 1 extra mana? We'll have 5 mana. So 6 mana. 6 mana enables these two combinations, which I'm kind of okay with. Or like it puts Glimpse Beyond with with this guy. Probably go for Thresh next turn though. We can't deal with the mana anyway, so he's probably just gonna do this, which will heal up, and then we can block. I don't know, keeping him healthy is probably pretty valuable here.
Run while you can.
So we can drop the Thresh here. Or do I want to keep Will of Ionia open for possible play? Oh, that might have been a mistake to not try lifesteal there.
Find me.
Yeah. How much mana? 2? He's probably gonna try to buff them. So we're gonna have to Will of Ionia this. Yeah. Blocking here is bad because he can buff this to kill my Scourge. So blocking the rookie's the most... Okay. I'll deny that. That's probably one of the best values I can get out of deny.
Better run.
Safety.
Ooh, he's got another one.
Didn't build one.
Got another one. Nice. Ooh. I think we're gonna go super hard here.
Rules are made to be broken, like buildings.
Oh man.
Or people.
So many years, so much misery.
Just get a full board immediately. We'll do... Why do you block with that unit? Okay. I'm okay with that. He put in his job in Life Skilled, and a Mystic Shot not going to my face is super valuable.
Let's make it deep. Maybe you need a closer look.
Hold still.
Sure.
Needs more testing. They got me.
Coming in hot.
See what's he got here. Decimate! Oh! Kinda sucks.
You weren't always this brave.
What a random card to pick up from that. Holy crap. Oh, this deck. Why did it draw me a card after I already won the game? Oh, that's amusing. I like that. Okay, so Spooter aggro. Let's go. We have Spider aggro. Drop the death mark. Mark the Isles. This is a greedy. Okay.
No one's the wiser.
Okay. This is unfortunate. But we can heal it up. Chronicle of Ruin. See what. I think I'm gonna pass this turn and see what he plays. We can go for like a Spider of Vile Feast onto that unit. But if he's gonna let me.
There's
Okay.
nothing to fear.
Alright. So. Now we just go for this. We can even use Mark of the Isles to kill the Elise with this Spiderling, which is pretty neat, I would say. Another Dark Water. See if he opens his attack. We're in Masters now, so most of the people probably know what the deck is. If he knows that I'm running Mogwai's version, then he's probably expecting a potential Scourge or Kalista.
Oh, it is a great
Oh.
day for a reckoning.
This just turns off his attack. Like, literally... Yeah. Which I'm kind of okay with. Because we're gonna play the Kalista. Yeah. That might have been not fantastic. Oh. That's painful. I wonder if he's gonna be able to get a Kalista flip or Elise flipped here. He's only at 2 mana and he can't Brood Awakening if I don't attack. I think we'll pass. Oh, Thresh. Thresh, my guy. You're such a lovely drop.
You won't get past me.
Honestly, I think I kind of have to go for the Dark Water here. Because, like, he's still got 4 mana. I don't have any of my... I don't have much of my tools that allow me to interrupt his board. So he's gonna probably drop the... Yeah. We gotta go for another one of these. Okay. The longer he gives me to establish a board, the happier I am.
There was hope.
I'm gonna go to flip Kalista here. Nice. We got the Rekindler as well, and we have 3 mana for a Black Spear. Oh. He actually had 2 of those. That's kind of... That's really scary. Oh man.
Steps up.
This is gonna be very, very scary here. I think this is the right play.
Let's take a real close look at the action.
How much damage is that? 21 damage.
Your death has been ordained.
And that is calculating the Phantom Prankster's damage as well. I think we lose. There's no way those 3 cards don't have at least 1 buff to finish this over the top. I wonder if I should have Black Speared the Battlecaster. That probably was the better game plan. Oh. Okay.
Here can
I'm gonna go for a super wide board with our Chronicler. Because we're gonna pull a Kalista from our deck.
So many years, so much
Is that G? Oh, does he have a Decimate? Is that what that is? Or is he just saying that I win? Oh. We'll keep this for a blocker. We'll keep both of these for blockers. Curious what he might accomplish. So right now this is a powerful hit. Okay, he's gonna glimpse. That's unfortunate. We can push lethal. Let's push lethal. Yeah, let's go. That was actually really terrifying. I can't believe we stabilized that one. Let's go. We climbing. We're climbing. Who are we playing against? All right, this is the Zed deck. Oh my goodness. You're really gonna play that early, huh? It's only 2 damage. Not sure if you should be doing something of that nature with this deck. Our mulligan was pretty greedy for keeping the Butcher, in all fairness. The Butcher keep is definitely not the play. Bum 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 bum. Well, we have a couple of stall tools with Will of Ionia in the box. So if he goes for a big unit, we can Will of Ionia. If he goes for many units, we can box. So we have some things. I like the KALISTA here. I'm gonna go ahead and actually play her. Okay. This should be a free attack unless he decides to somehow buff one of his units in order to take it. Okay. We really need something like that. That is perfect.
Quietly.
Okay.
We weren't expecting callers.
By my honor, you must die.
Okay.
I will play my part.
Closing in on the mark.
He's got 1 mana. What can he do? This deck doesn't really run any hard removal. Like, he doesn't have a single spell that can deal 1 damage to me. Alright. Still have Will of Ionia. We need to use that.
Do not fear the shrouded path.
I walk your path alone.
Unfortunately...
The Yordle here's with me.
Okay. That's a lot of damage.
I have no time for fools. You cannot escape. Master.
And we have Will of Ionia. 2 Rekindlers.
Suffer long.
Relentless Pursuit.
Do not deny me.
This will force him into like, do I actually have a... If he has a third Relentless Pursuit, then this forces him to not be able to play another unit.
Hey, Krabby.
Because he's totally on multiple Relentless Pursuits here. It's just totally within his world.
One candle for every soul.
Hold up.
Do not disappoint me.
Where are you going?
Oh, yeah. He kills this one by going for that.
Hang on, sir.
Hey.
Such naivete.
Damn, that's a lot of Radiant Strikes.
We burn, then kindle anew.
What the heck? Yeah, we win. GG. Get that cheese out of here. Get that cheese out of here.